Listen here, guys. Listen here. Welcome to another episode of the Catalogue podcast. But let me just tell you straight off the bat, we lied to you at the start. We lied to you at the front end. This might be one of the worst, but I'm going to get into the facts, then we'll get
I actually think I like this equally as much as the original one. I will be honest with you.
Have we got the thing in the background? Because there's going to be comments. I hope so. We're titling this. I'm saying I am, but you are because you do the titling. So I'll get some comments. But this is The Exorcist Believer. This is 2023's very own. It's got a 4.8 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got 22% on the Rotten Tomatoes. When his daughter Angela and her friend Catherine show signs of demonic possession, it unleashes a chain of events that forces single father Victor Fielding to confront the nadir of evil. Now they hit me with words I don't even understand.
It's the Abed Nadir of evil.
Terrified and desperate, he see. We're getting spoiled.
Get out of here! Can you go away?
This is where we're in production. We're in production.
Yeah,
Vincent's got his makeup on.
Love you.
Oh, get out!
We got to restart the whole episode.
No, that's going in the episode.
We got to restart the whole
We're
episode.
gonna put that's going in the episode. That person's getting put on blast. We're gonna dox him.
Where's old mate when we need him? Where is he?
Who? Mad Dog?
Yeah, dude.
Nobody calls him that. Though.
I've been searching for him. I've been searching for Mad Dog. Anyway, man, it's The Exorcist, but like, what if we had like 16 people coming in to try to fight a devil?
Dude, this movie was crazy.
This movie stinks.
Really? You think it stinks?
Stinks to high heaven.
Nah, Ken Stinkley wouldn't.
Ken Stinkley wouldn't because he don't make a final. And this is the final edit.
Is he a player or is he like a pundit?
He's the coach.
He's the coach.
He's the coach, Ken Stinkley.
Oh man, that's crazy because like there'll be headlines.
What, saying Ken Stinkley?
Ken stinks, and that's the headline.
Because his name is Ken Hinkley. But I call him Ken Stinkley.
Okay, well, so you've already made the headline.
I've made the headline.
Okay, I thought his name was actually Stinkley. I don't know this person.
Because here's the thing, if your name's Stinkley, like, you haven't been set up right.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It was really bad, and we're going to get into why, but one of the things that I don't like about this movie...
My eyes.
Dude, I mean, that's funny.
Did this movie genuinely made me laugh?
If you think about it as a comedy, it's a good movie.
Bro, I watched Trading Places the other week. This movie made me laugh more. I'm not having a laugh. I'm not trying to.
There's no competency.
You know, we don't have enough like viewership to be doing clickbait stuff that actually works.
You don't have enough viewership to be making people laugh.
No,
that's the reality. You're straight down the line.
I'm straight down the line. Yeah. I'm giving you the facts. I'm giving you facts and logic, and the logic that I saw is that I laughed. 5-6 times. I did. Even sound like breathing out the nose plus a bit of sound.
Yeah. You weren't just laughing internally, you were laughing externally.
I was laughing externally.
Like the demon was coming out. Here's the thing about this movie. Obviously, it is meant to be a reboot of the original to try to get things back going. Maybe you can make an Exorcist series where they just go around town like doing exorcisms.
And that lady just loses different parts of her every time.
She's just getting fingers next time.
Oh my God, Mom!
But essentially what it is, it does everything that the original movie did, but worse.
It'll be like that night in Monty Python.
She coming back.
She come back like
it's just
that.
a flesh wound.
Yeah, just flesh wound.
It's just a scratch, whatever the man says. One of the reasons it's horrible, Vincent, we're going to get into this. But as a comedy...
You can tell me all the reasons why it's bad, and I'll tell you all the reasons why it's good.
Okay. Because now I'm thinking about it as a comedy, and it's good.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, dude.
Even as a horror movie, it's not terrible.
It's pretty bad as a horror movie.
I'm not a purveyor of horror movies, really.
You are now, dude.
No, but I'm not a man that goes and seeks that.
You don't go out of your way for it.
You just tell me we're watching this movie, and I say, well, I mean, let's do it. Because you're burning out, but I've got time. So, you got to do what you can do when you can do it.
Yeah.
So. I thought this movie was fine as a horror movie. It didn't feel any different to a lot of the other ones. We're talking Halloween, una fats, una rats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is Blumhouse, so they did do Halloween. You would have seen at the start when you see Michael Myers at the start of this movie.
Do you?
It's just in the opening credits because it's like there's a Blumhouse thing. But here's the thing: we're going to get into why it's the same as The Exorcist but worse, worster. Just in case Mad Dog's here, he can comment on that English. So we get.
Dude really been living rent free for the past year.
He's in the house. We got the comment framed here. The comment is framed. Our very first hate comment. We got it framed in the house.
Fantastic.
It's great. It is great. Here's the thing about this film, though. One of the great things about The Exorcist, a movie that I love, top 3 Dead on a Tree horror movies in my opinion.
Yeah, a movie that
you did not like.
Very much dislike.
Yeah, and it's crazy you like this movie more, but that's a story for later in this podcast. One of the scariest parts about it is when the family's trying to figure out what's going on with Reagan. It is very scary. They're going into the doctors. They're doing like Doc Schwartz stuff that no one's ever done before. They're just sticking needles in places. Blood's flying out everywhere.
See that I don't find that. You're telling me like, oh my god, I can't they would do that to a kid. And I know it might be different because you've got kids. I don't have kids, so that might be a.
Because I got Chris. You
got Chris and Chris friends Chris
and Chris's friend Chris.
Yeah,
who's Chris's brother. But the thing, it's not that, they wouldn't do this to a kid. It's just that the kid is being traumatized within the space. Like, they're just doing doctor things.
Yeah.
It's not like they're forcing this kid to do stuff. It's just there's all this stuff going on to this kid. But they try to do the same thing here. And there's a scene for about 2 seconds in which they do that. And then, I don't know what they try to do after, but they take her out the house, out of the hospital. They bring her back in the hospital to try to do the things again. And each time they do it, it just feels like, it's like, hey, you remember this? Do you remember when we did this in the first one? Here it is again. Here go 3 more for y'all. Like LeBron James is there putting out deluxe mixtapes. But each time that they do something from the original, it just doesn't hit the same way. I mean, even the barking dogs, they put barking dogs in this movie. And they put things like high stress environments, lots of noise in certain parts of the movie, but it's not a consistent thing that they do. They chose many lanes, but they didn't stay in any of them for long enough, is what I feel. The other thing that's bad about this movie, but it's actually a strength in my opinion, is that they're just like, hey, we did the priest that did boxing. Now we've got a dad that does boxing, but he doesn't believe in
But he only did boxing for 30 seconds.
He did boxing for 30 seconds. We can't just have the dad doing boxing. We've got to get 6-7 heads coming in here to do things.
The pinnacle of this movie. I'm telling you, the pinnacle of this movie. And this might be, for me, one of the top 5 Dead or Alive, number 1 best horror movie scenes ever.
I might actually like this movie now that I'm thinking about it.
When they're in the church and there's 6 of them that are walking through Fast and Furious style.
It's fantastic.
If they put that in slow motion, I think I would have lost it.
It was in slow motion, wasn't it? Or they were walking slow.
Some of them were old.
The one lady,
she was old. The pastor was old.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that was so funny. That was so funny.
That was amazing. They line up perfectly.
Oh my God. It was just it just needed some Pittsburgh or some Rio
de Janeiro.
Yeah, wherever they are. Wherever they are, whatever the location is. Because it looked like they were assembling the team, which they were.
They did. And how funny would it be if that comes up, right? The 6 of them, or however many of them, 7 of them roll in. And then it goes you just hear Mr. 305, and then there's just a plane. And there's just a plane going to the destination.
And it's just a house a few streets away.
I might like this movie.
You gotta,
I might like this movie because I'm thinking about it in a funny way.
You just gotta think about it. You keep going about the cons.
No, I don't.
Keep telling me. Tell me all the bad things about this movie.
Because now that I'm thinking about this, right?
Because I'll try to change your mind because you normally change my mind. So keep doing it.
No, because now that I think about this, there's a couple scenes in this movie that are top tier hilarious. Obviously, the scene when Reagan's mother, who is she's written a book on the exorcisms. And then she thinks she can go up and run one.
Dude.
That's like me writing a book on space travel and I'm just I'm going to just hop out and do it.
No, it's like you writing a fiction book.
Well, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
She goes into this lady's house who has the devil in her or a demon in her and starts throwing out power of Christ compels you.
Dude, it was funny because she just went out. She was like, oh, Catherine. Oh, well, while I'm here.
Look,
I'm here, I'll give it a go.
I'm at the house.
I'm at the house.
I'm at the house.
I heard them do it in the other room, however many years ago.
I didn't see any, she says it, I didn't see any part of the exorcism, but I saw all the possession before. She says that earlier in the film. And then she rolls in saying lines from the movie.
Dude, it was so funny seeing that. Her in the movie was the only thing I'd take out.
No, because then you lose the taken out of the eyes. And that's fantastic.
No, I know. But as in, if you wanted to make it a better movie, you just take all of her stuff out.
You can take a whole lot of stuff out to make this a better movie.
Because I remember you saying you didn't like we go into the woods and then we say, hey, where you at?
Oh,
you know.
That's correct. What I didn't like about that part of it is that they explained too much as to what they were doing straight away.
I didn't think they really explained that much.
Well, they said we're going in to do a seance. You see them do the seance.
Yeah.
You know, things go down.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know.
Because here's the thing. They had an opportunity to do something different. These two girls get lost. The town's in pandemonium, which they didn't really focus on too much. It went for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Imagine if like there was more of that, like the dad seeing things, like the little girl's outside the window. She's doing like, is she here?
Yeah, I agree. There should have been more stuff. But you know what you get into.
I know it's The Exorcist, but imagine you find that out late. Like the demon's talking to the dad, like your daughter went into this place and she said like, hey, you going to the devil when I came into it. And then he's like, no.
I don't think that would.
I ruined her. I mean, I didn't protect her as a father. You know, like those things come out later.
I don't think that.
But when you explain stuff from the start, you're like, okay, you know, obviously going into the woods.
Yeah, but that's not what people go there for. They go there for the hey, like you know, I'm gonna you know do things to you.
Yeah, but you had a think piece to it. You had a bit of a think piece to it. Like, what did happen to the girls? What happened to them? Because maybe something happened to them that wasn't the seance. And then you got that part where he goes to the homeless shelter. He throws like a table for 5 minutes.
That was funny.
It's just so stupid. Like he rolls into the homeless shelter. He's like, "Yeah, look, I need to know about my daughter." As soon as the dude
pulled out the hot dog, he lost it.
So I don't dig with processed meat, even though I love bacon. I love the taste of bacon.
Jeez.
The scene, and I think this could go down in history as one of the funniest scenes when they're doing the exorcism. And the Catholic priest is like, I can't do this, I'm sorry.
I know where you're going with this. And this is my my number 2 in my top 2.
And then later he's sitting out in the car and he's thinking like, he's been there for like 2 hours. Like,
he's just sitting there.
Maybe I could do it.
Dude's there throwing out stuff. He's been like, the fight's in here. That's fantastic. Dude comes in. It's like,
he's back.
It felt like this is it. Like we've got like, hey, that's the trick cap. I'm always angry.
Exactly.
And then here we do it. Oh, my neck gone.
His neck gone.
Gone.
They didn't show any capabilities of like breaking necks.
That was so funny. Because you're like, oh my God, it's working. It's working.
And then he's like, click, click. You know, like in Futurama when that man like freezes himself because he's got like muscle spasms that end up like breaking all the bones in his body? Did you ever watch that episode?
No.
Well, essentially, that's what happens to this man. Like, he just bones gone.
Yeah.
Neck's gone. Like, he it was fantastic because he comes in and he rolls in like the superhero.
It was fantastic because it added to the, are we just doing an Avengers but for The Exorcist?
Exactly. And, you know, that was good. That was good because you weren't expecting that.
No, you weren't expecting that.
You were expecting to say power of Christ compels you, demons out.
That's right.
You know.
But the problem is, you know, in the original Exorcist, you had Dimmy.
Yeah.
You had him doing the boxing. You had him do like Rocky 3. You didn't see any of that for this priest.
You didn't see it. That's exactly right. You didn't see the lead up.
You know, so you really, he's not a man that looks like he's out here going to be like boxing demons.
Yeah. And also Dimmy's, you know, concerns about not having faith.
Yeah.
And his worries about how he feels are much more important to the narrative than like the dad doesn't believe in it until like he's reading a book and he goes, hold on a second. Wait a second.
But he didn't even.
Well,
I think that's copyrighted. He didn't believe then. He was just like, oh, okay. And then at the end,
dude, you're familiar. The camera about to die.
That's right.
Dude, I'm telling you, this man's sitting there. There's all this like, you know, back catalogue going on in the background, right? They're watching the back catalogue, right? But they're talking about like demons and ghouls and goblins. And then he's reading a book and he literally goes, like, you know that thing where like Drake and Lil Yachty are looking at the computer screen and they're like, and they figure it out. That's what the man does in that moment.
Dude, oh man, this movie was so funny.
It's fantastic.
It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I came at the end of it, I was like, look, I might get nightmares from that one scene where they're like, Catherine, I choose you. And then like Ash Ketchum in the background, you know, hollering and hooting. And then you've got her like in hell like, Mum, Dad? Dude, that was the only part.
That became like Stranger Things. Because then
Yeah.
some man comes up and he's like, "Hey, you're coming with me."
Yeah.
Brother, you're coming with me.
I don't think the actual.
Well.
I don't think that. Do you've been watching too much? About
Sorry,
I don't think the whole thing was scary. I just think that just the idea of that.
It is scary. It is scary. The thing is, because they are children, that does make it scary. But the thing is, I don't know why I didn't feel as like invested in these two girls. And I think part of the reason is because there was a bit of lead up to Reagan's story before.
How did she get possessed?
They were playing with the Ouija board.
Oh,
and Captain Howdy was talking to her.
Not Captain Howdy.
Captain Howdy's talking to her. Captain.
Because you say hey, he'll say howdy.
And then he's in you.
And then he's in you.
Yeah, no. There's so many elements of that original movie, The Exorcist, which I mean, I'll say it again, like it's top 10 dead or alive for me.
Yeah,
top 5 dead or alive movies for me.
See, I'll say it again. That's like
you don't
mid-tier,
like it.
absolute mid-tier for me.
But this movie, it has some great stuff in it too. One of the scenes which I thought was genuinely scary when I first watched it, but then it immediately becomes not scary, is when Vincent, is that his name?
Victor
Mon.
Mon.
His daughter is gone. And he comes back to the house and like lights are on in the house.
Yeah.
And then he walks into his room or into her room and there's a lady sitting on there.
Yeah.
That's scary.
But then it's
immediately made not scary.
Well, we've got 4 heads in the house and you didn't hear nothing. They didn't say anything. We got Lou there saying, "Hey man, like I'm your neighbor. Like we need to care about each other."
Yeah.
Well, this is 2023. This is not 1984.
You can't just go into the house and look for some sugar. You got to ask first.
But it's not like, oh man, I'd do anything for my neighbor.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Lou's also his boxing coach by the sounds of things and by the looks of things, given that they like spar and do like boxing coaching together.
Yeah, maybe.
But you're correct. But also that scene when that lady's there, if there was more things like that, if that lady actually wasn't there and he's seeing different things happen in the lead up while he's trying to figure out what actually happened to his daughter, that's terrifying. Instead, it's a lady sitting on there, what was her name?
I don't know.
Dr. Derby or something. She had some name.
The one with the roots.
The one with the roots.
Roots.
She was saging the whole area. She was like Kyrie Irving when he went back to basketball. Played at Boston that time.
Dude, it's just there was just too much going on. There was too much going on because you had the 2 families. So you had to go Tony, you had to go Victor Mon. You had to do both of them.
You had to do both.
You had to show that Tony was going to mess up. Like the whole movie, you knew, man. I thought he was going to die. To be honest,
Tony, that's the father of the
of Catherine.
Of Catherine,
of one of the kids.
The God-fearing individuals in the movie.
The God-fearing individuals.
Who tries to sacrifice the other daughter for his daughter. And then you realise...
It's so funny as well because he's like sitting back towards everything in another room.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "Catherine, I choose you."
And he's looking around. He's like, "I've done something here. But lads, don't worry, I've got this."
All right.
And also, like, he's a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
He knows you don't make deals with the devil. Like, there's always like the man's got like the fine print. He's got the fine print down packed.
That's like religion 101. Whoever the bad guy is, you got the you have this and half like evil.
Yeah.
You got the two. The evil man, you never listen to him.
You can't listen to him. Because he's only going to tell you some lies.
That's right.
It might be a half truth.
You just got to have faith.
That's
you just got to believe.
That's apparent.
If Victor had said like, I believe, and then put that like thing on her or whatever, her mum's scarf.
Yeah.
And that just ended the movie, that would have been fantastic.
Also, I love it. His daughter dies and he ain't doing no like CPRs, like, rescue breaths Nathan. He's just straight up like, "I'm going to put this on you and hope it works."
Yeah.
And then she obviously does.
No, she did that first. He did that first and she was coming back. And that's when Tony was like, "Oh my God. Catherine, I choose you."
What a film, man. The issue with this film, though, is it's like you get to the back end of this movie where the exorcism happens and they rush through that thing.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like it's too long. It's rushed and too long because nothing happens in it.
How beautiful was it when like, "Victor, is that you?" "No, Mum, it's me." Did you cry? Were you like sobbing?
Oh, when Reagan rocks up at the end?
Yeah.
Dude, imagine Reagan rocks up in the middle of the exorcism. She's like...
Imagine Reagan is there doing like, "The power of Christ compels you."
Yeah.
And then her neck snaps.
Dude, that would have been big. It would have been even bigger if like because she didn't even know the house. She just rolls in, and everyone's just like, "Who are you?" Because no one knows her there.
This is not my Airbnb.
And I mean, look.
The end of the movie was trash as well, though. As in they should have just ended it as like, "Hey, he's getting CPR." Like that's it. And then they got that lady going, "Do you know what evil is? What do you think evil is? It's when you don't have hope or etc. Like she's got CTE.
She's got CTE. I think everyone in that room got CTE. Yeah.
Anyway, I reckon this is like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Let's think
just
about
for enjoyment purposes.
Oh, dude, I'll give it an 8, man.
In terms of a film, it's like a 4. It's not a good film.
It's a bad movie.
It's not a good film.
This is like a 2.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed this an insane amount more than the original Exorcist.
I'll give this movie an 8 from enjoyment because it's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's a comedy.
That's what I mean. I was laughing.
I hollered and hoot when that priest got snapped
Oh my
up.
God, that was so funny. Dude, it's just...
And look, I'm all for everyone not being snapped up, but in that moment, like you thought that dude was going to save it all.
Actually, no. The other thing that I really laughed at was when they're doing the clear to Catherine. They're trying to revive her, and then it's like, nah, she's gone. And then the Roots lady goes to the candles and just like puts out one of them.
I mean, she's dead, so we gotta like do that because it's mise-en-scene.
Are you trying to be like, oh yeah, well, we don't need this anymore?
I guess this is not needed. She licks her fingers. All right, see you guys. Look, I've done all I can do. My roots all burnt out.
Look, you'll be getting an invoice in 3 to 6 business days. Because these roots ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you think I just dig them up from the ground?
Also, what a stupid opening.
What was the opening?
When they're in Haiti and things just break down.
Yeah.
And like cars are crashing, all this sort of stuff.
Oh my God, the building.
Oh my God.
You have to save your daughter or your wife.
It's like, all right.
I mean, that's like yeah.
You don't know those people.
No.
That's the issue.
It's just to set up the thing at the end.
But why does it have to be like everything's cracking down? People going like,
I don't know. Is that like a stereotype of Haiti? They have earthquakes?
Maybe Haiti have earthquakes.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they do.
Because they'll be like, yeah, brother,
I don't know if
we knew people would say this, but Haiti got earthquakes. That's what the director says. And you're like, brother,
it's a realistic occurrence.
You got to like this movie because Haiti has earthquakes and also a Catholic priest got snapped up.
Yeah, pros of this movie is you've got like the Avengers of religion. Cons of this movie, there's no Dimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just quickly talk on like what parts were scary. That ending scene with the Stranger Things where like the Demogorgon comes and gets, what's her name? That's pretty scary.
The scary thing is that genuinely just the first thing where she's there, she kind of like, you switch the scene to that.
Yeah.
And she's like, Mum? And then you hear Tony going like, Tony.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Because then you go, there's like flashes of people and it's just not.
Yeah. And the other thing that tries to be scary, which is a genuinely horrible scene, is the body and the blood. Where she just comes in screaming the body and the blood.
I mean, that's nothing for me.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there for me.
Do you know what I mean? But some of the stuff that Reagan does.
If she started like running at the priest.
No, but some of the stuff that Reagan does that is scary.
The body and the blood. The body and the blood.
The priest just like, I've been training with Dimmy, brother. And then the procession's just like, yeah. Man, they're doing like fighting here now.
Jeez. Dana White's in the background.
The scary thing about this, one of the scariest parts of Reagan is when she is, there's obviously the big parts where, she's yelling, necks are spinning and things like that. But when she's sitting in the bed and she looks at the priest and she says, what a lovely day for an exorcism. And she's speaking in that like, grotesque voice. Some of that lower level stuff is scary. Whereas in this movie, I think they were just going for like, this is high impact. I'm going to be screaming, smacking my head on the wall.
They didn't have enough because the original movie was, you got that weird stuff in the Egypt or whatever, which you just...
Yeah, they were doing,
just get rid of that. Just get rid of that.
Middle East somewhere. Yeah.
Wherever it was. And then you've got the very initial part where, you see the mum, you see the daughter, then they do like, hey, it's Woody Harrelson. What's the dude's name? Howdy.
Captain Howdy, yeah.
Captain Howdy.
Woody Harrelson could be there.
I don't know why. They did that. Then it's... The rest of the movie is split between Reagan trying to... they're trying to work out Reagan and Father Dimmy.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a fantastic
And then
thing.
you've got the end, which is just the exorcism.
The exorcism and the man
Whereas
falls out
this,
the window.
they split it between all these different things. It's just too much.
Also,
It's a Spider-Man 3.
And the issue with that is it is a Spider-Man 3. The issue with having the two families is that.
Yeah.
Because we also didn't care about the God-fearing family because they weren't the main characters of this film. You know what I'm saying? If it was
They should have done more stuff about the
Imagine you did
the two girls, because when they were like looking at each other from the hotel room, the hospital rooms,
and they're doing like tick-tock.
Yeah.
Tick-tock, drip, or whatever.
Drip, yeah, like Metropolitan Plumbing.
Listen, man. This movie was garbage, but like maybe it was good. And there's me in the back catalogue.
Talk soon.
That was a good movie, man.